We have all been in that phase where we listened to one song on loop over and over again. But how did that happen in the back end? How can our phone put a song on repeat? So let's understand how we can repeat a particular mechanism. The concept used to make it work is called loops. Simple to remember, right? So what are loops? Loops are used to repeat a particular code sequence. Now let's understand how a loop will work in programming. So let's say we want to print all the natural numbers from 1 to 10, and we want to use loops for this. Now what all will we need to do this? So as we said, loops are used to repeat a code sequence. And for this program, we can say that this code sequence will be a print statement that will print a natural number each time. Now, we need a counter that will start from 1 and go up till 10 and will increase by 1 at each iteration or repetition, right? So this means that we need two things for the loop to work. One, a counter or an iterator, which can be a variable, right? And next, we need to specify a range or a condition till which the loop will run again and again. Once the range is finished or the condition turns false, the loop will stop running. We hope that you have understood the basic working of a loop. Now there are three types of loops in Kotlin: the for loop, the while loop, and the do-while loop. All these three have different use cases, but they can all be used to perform the same task as well. So let us look at the syntax for each type and then learn how to write programs for each. Let us look at the syntax for the for loop. This is the syntax for the for loop. So, we have the keyword for. Then in these brackets, we have the iterations. This will contain the iterator and the range for which it will run. Next, within these brackets, we have the code sequence that will be performed repeatedly. Now let's look at a program for the for loop. We will print numbers from 1 to 10 using the for loop. So we write the keyword for, then inside these brackets we give our iterator. This will be a variable. Then we give the range for which we want to run the loop, using the in keyword. So we specify the range like this. Then we open the body of this loop and write the print statement. The value that will be passed inside this statement will be the iterator, since it is the value of the iterator that is going to increase with each iteration. Now let's run this code. Yes, we get the expected results. Now you must have noticed that we have not initialized the iterator. That is because it takes up the first value mentioned in this range on its own. But this is true only for the for loop. We will have to initialize the iterator in the while and do-while loops. Also, we have not told the iterator to increase by 1, but it does so on its own. Since the default increment of the iterator happens by 1 in the for loop. Again, for the while and do-while loops, we need to mention the increment or decrement for the iterator. So how this loop will function is that in the first instance, the value of the iterator will be 1, it will print this value, and then the value of the iterator will increase by 1. Then the loop will go on again to the statement and check if the iterator is still within the range. This time the value of the iterator will be 2. It will again print the value of the iterator. The value of the iterator will again increase by 1 and it will again check if it falls within this range. And this process will continue till the value of the iterator is 10. The iterator will print and increase by 1 and become 11. Now when this range will be checked, the condition will become false. That is, 11 does not come in the range 1 to 10 and the loop will terminate and will not enter the loop body. This flowchart here sums up the process followed by a for loop. So as you can see here, we start with initialization, then the loop goes on to check the condition. If the condition is true, the statements inside the loop body are executed. After this, the increment or decrement of the iterator takes place and it again goes on to check the condition. This process is repeated till the time the condition is true. If the condition is false, the loop ends. Now let's look at the syntax for the while loop. So this is the syntax. We write the while keyword, and inside these brackets we write the condition for which we want to check the iterator. Till the time the condition is true, the loop will enter this body and perform the operations written here. Next, we write the increment or decrement step that we need to perform on the iterator. So as we mentioned earlier, we do not have to mention this step in the for loop, but we need to do it for the while and do while loops. And then we close the loop body. Now let's print the numbers from 1 to 10 using the while loop. So we initialize the iterator first, then we write the keyword while. In these brackets we write the condition. Now we want the iterator to run till it is 10, right? So the condition can be while I is less than equal to 10. Then inside the loop body we write the print statement and pass the iterator within these brackets. At last we write the increment statement, which in this case will be I++. Now let's run this code. Yes, we get all the natural numbers from 1 to 10. This flowchart here summarizes the way a while loop functions. So it checks the expression first. If the condition is true, the while loop body is executed. And it goes back to the test expression. This process continues till the condition is not false. Once the condition is false, the loop terminates. So that was all about the while loop. Now let us look at the syntax for the do while loop. This is the syntax. So we write the do keyword first, then within this body we write the operations that will be performed. And we also mention the increment or decrement step that we want to have. Now outside this body we write the while keyword and we give the condition for which we need to check the iterator in this bracket. Now, if you see, the while and do while loops look very similar. The only difference is that in the while loop, the while condition comes first and is checked first before the loop body is executed even once. But in the do while loop, the loop body gets executed first, which means that the loop body will always get executed at least once in a do while loop, whether the condition is true or not. Only after the body is executed is the condition checked here. Now let us print the natural numbers from 1 to 10 using the do while loop. So we initialize the iterator, then we write the keyword do and give the print statement inside the loop body. Then we give the increment statement like this. Now outside the loop body we give the while condition like this. Now let's run the code. Yes, we get the expected output. This flowchart here explains the function of the do while loop. Try to understand it on your own. So that was all about the for, while and do while loops. Click next to learn more about loops.